Alright, guys. So let's see. Fuck. The verdict is in. I don't know why this is being so choppy. Okay, give me 1 sec here. I'm gonna bring this over. I'm gonna fix this here. Boom, 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 boom. So I guess the verdict is in, guys. So let's go here and here. All right. So we're live on Facebook, Twitch, Wayne Live, and Citizen World News. Citizen World News, if you guys could shoot on over there, that'd be absolutely great. So we can get some traffic going over there. Give me 1 second. And there we go. Here we go. All right. So, channel. So I'm curious to see what is what's going to happen. I gotta get this. So how's everybody doing today? Come on. There we go. So we'll go from here. And here we go. Boom. All right, let's see what's going on. Day 16 of trial. Here we go. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Nervous here? Hey, Cynthia. Okay, there's the chat, guys. Okay, I see the chat now. What do you guys think? You think that he's gonna I think he's gonna get something. I'm just not sure what he's gonna get. Verdict is in. Hello, over on Facebook. How's everybody doing? So yeah, the verdict's in. We're just waiting for them to basically come on. Yeah, let's turn that off. Turn that light on. Alright, so there we go. Ooh, it's gonna be... I made it into Discord. I feel I've accomplished all I need this week. That's awesome. Yeah, so please jump over to the Citizen World News. Hit that subscribe button. Here's the link again, guys. It's pinned to the top as well. And... join me over on that channel. I really want to get that channel up and running as much as I can. I want to get it up as running as much as I can. Channel up and running. There we go. We got 10 people over there watching. Absolutely awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Subscribers are going up on that account too. Nice, nice, and nice. Michael Hart. Where Michael, no link in chat. What's up, my friend? Everybody in deep breath. Yes. No link in chat. You're on YouTube. Whereabouts are you on YouTube? Oh, you're in Wayne Live. You're in Wayne Live. Sorry. Yes. Give me a second. Yes. I forgot I'm streaming to Wayne Live as well. I forgot. Yeah, so right there. Boom. There you go. There's the link to the Citizen World News. There you go. I'll pin that to the top as well. Watch What Wayne is live. Yes. No, Watch What Wayne isn't. No, I'm not doing it on Watch What Wayne. Just Wayne Live and Citizen World News. I'm trying to get Citizen World News up. Thanks, Michael. That's we're gonna put all the news stuff and all the other stuff onto that channel. Another thing, while we're sitting here waiting, I just got word now. Right now, it's just rumors that our government is going to be closing down the banks and closing everything, and they're going to be basically putting us on like a martial law. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. That's just rumors at this point. But the speculation, they're saying that the reason why Trudeau's doing that is because none of the police officers or the agencies around the province of Ontario and other provinces are listening to what is being told. So it kind of makes sense, but there's no way he can do that because that would cause a huge amount of issue, like major issue. Like beyond even, like you'd have no idea. Canada's largest bank collapsed Friday after hours, dropped 64. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, it's funny that you just sent me that because that's exactly what people are saying right now. Is that the banks are collapsing. I don't have any money to pull out. I got no money to pull out. I couldn't pull out if my life depended on it. That's why I got 6 bank accounts. No, but seriously, I don't know if it's real or not. Or I have no idea. It can't be real. And see, this is... Yes. We are fucked. I pulled my cash out. See, I don't know if there's any truth to that. And just so you guys know, I've been really focusing on Twitch lately. I've been using the Discord, and I've been moving to Twitch for a lot of things. Twitch and Facebook, but mostly Twitch. YouTube has been just... They've been great, but it's just... I've been having so many problems with trolls and people making false accusations, and it's nonstop. Yeah, I was gonna say the reason why I have 6 kids, but I was trying to, stay professional. Man, so the verdict is in. This is gonna be crazy. Beginning of the end. Canada braced for the collapse of the West. What being in America will shatter the world economy. It's going to be, if there's any truth to that at all, it's going to be crazy. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I don't know where I'm at on Twitch. User chat, no, should be good. Let's see what's going on here. On another note, Taco Tuesday, we're having chicken tacos. Nice. Okay, let's see what happens here. So I have all the, I haven't turned the lights on or anything. I should turn them on though. Let's see if I can find news. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. News now.
Is concern over publicity pre-trial and then things that went on during this trial. We've had some very big events, and I don't have to list them because you know them, but how do you categorize this trial? Was it a pretty clean trial, or are there things that have made this very murky that would likely or could put it in appeal?
Well, a couple things. If you go back a month and a half ago, we didn't know if we'd get to this point. And there were lots of motions to move the trial, a lot of motions to bring the 4 defendants together and thus move it later on in the year. They got it. They got it done. There was a question where we had that Monday where we were going to lose a whole bunch of jurors potentially. They were able to only lose a couple. They got them back. What's amazing is the 14 that they started with were the 14 they ended with. They sent 2 home, and he's talked to those 2 jurors, which is, he has some kind of insight a little bit from those 2 jurors because the judge talked to them in chambers. And we stuck with the 12. We didn't lose them during that time. So in the age of COVID and the age of all the activities going on, with all the press that happened, you didn't have anybody else that ended up getting knocked off that jury, which is amazing. And the judge kept things moving, kept things rolling. We got here to where we're at. So despite, the different things that have happened, despite what just happened in Brooklyn Center, it's amazing that we've gotten to this point and we're going to have a verdict coming out.
All right, Mike, thank you. Stand by. We know we'll have to tap you for your expertise throughout the evening, so stay right here for us. And for those viewers that may just be joining us, again, this is what's happening. It's 3:30, 3:11 now in the afternoon. At 3:30, sometime between 3:30 and 4, we're told. The court has record now of a verdict. We do know that verdict will be read, we believe, between 3:30 and 4. So that's where we stand now in the Derek Chauvin trial after approximately 10 hours of deliberation for these 14 members of this jury. DC?
Randy, as you can imagine, there are people making their way to downtown Minneapolis just awaiting this verdict, and we just received word that Maurice Hall is among those in the crowd in downtown Minneapolis. If that name sounds familiar, it should. His name was brought up often, many times throughout this trial. The defense really wanted to hear from him, but at one point we eventually did hear from Maurice Hall. The jury did not. He told the judge that he would not testify for fear of incriminating himself. If you recall, Maurice Hall was a friend of George Floyd's. He was one of 2 passengers inside George Floyd's vehicle there at the intersection of 38th and Chicago and South Minneapolis. Moments before George Floyd died, he was with Maurice Hall. Our Karen Scullin just so happened to interview him. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
My thoughts are, whatever the verdict may be, that I'm trying to promote peace and not have businesses or anyone else suffer from violence and tearing down the world or the cities. I know Big Floyd personally on the first hand, and he wouldn't approve of that destruction like that.
Big Floyd.
And again, that was Maurice Hall, a friend of George Floyd's. He was actually there in the moments that when George Floyd died. But Maurice Hall.
So here's what I'm thinking. They're going to riot regardless. If he gets acquitted, they're going to riot, and they're going to riot. And what's going to happen is it's going to give them the reason that they need to riot. Because of the acquittal. But if they find him guilty, they're going to riot because now they're going to want justice for Breonna Taylor, and they're going to say, listen, see, we got violent, we did this, we did that, and it worked. So now we want it for all these other people now. So it doesn't matter what the verdict here is. I'm going to say there's going to be riots and all this other shit that's going to happen because, one, if he doesn't get it, they're going to hit the streets. If they do get it, they're going to hit the streets because their method, they're in their eyes, is going to seem like it works. So they're going to want Breonna Taylor. They're going to want everybody else. So no matter what the outcome is, they have reasons to riot or to protest or whatever you want to call it, demonstrate. So I think no matter what happens, it's going to be chaos. That's just what I think. Now, I'm not a professional in any way.
I'm sure that is perhaps where Karen caught up with Maurice Hall. Really interesting to hear from Maurice Hall out and about. Of course, he was initially in jail as this was all playing out, so presumably he is now out, but he did not testify. Interesting to hear him weigh in. And he, not the only one calling for peace here today. You may have reported already, but comments from the White House today, Joe Biden following closely, praying for the right verdict. He spoke with the Floyds, the Floyd family also praying on this and calling for peace no matter what happens. I do want to point out, we do have a courtroom pool reporter inside, as we've had throughout. They have reported now in the last 10 minutes or so that the defendant, Derek Chauvin, is inside the courthouse. His defense attorney, Eric Nelson, is inside this courthouse. Now, I've covered a lot of verdict readings. This one's so different, obviously, because of the global attention, also the security, and then the COVID layout of the courtroom. In terms of, I'm just thinking about
all our provinces is here.
Watch the camera, some of the shielding, the plexiglass, the positioning of the defendant.
All the provinces here in Canada are
the jury as they come in and out. I think some of those
are going on lockdown. Every one of them are slowly all going on lockdown, and they're putting checkpoints at all the entrances in and out. I'm getting multiple people with multiple articles from City News. Random road checks are coming to BC.
The governor has called on Nebraska and Ohio to send in additional forces to make sure things stay safe. Theo was reporting that the Ohio State Patrol had arrived there. And then you heard Ryan Pasiga earlier, a downtown well-known criminal defense attorney who works in the building.
Verdict back early, not guilty.
Been perched throughout, and he had his employees with go bags.
It's either going to be guilty or not guilty. Guilty.
He evacuated them as soon as word of this verdict came in, and that is exactly what we know was happening.
The other thing too, Canadian, is that
they wanted to get out any government workers.
In different towns throughout, you know how they have those like tanks and guns out in the front of the military places? They've all been removed.
So that just gives you
so that's kind of
down here, Randy. But Obviously now just minutes away from this historic
Kind of disturbing that they're doing that.
reading, and one that certainly will have global implications.
No doubt about the nation. The world
Like,
is watching.
in my hometown, there was a tank in front of the army base, and the tank is now gone. It's not there.
Focal points since the beginning,
Why?
since May 25th, has been 38th in Chicago. Of course, that is the site where George Floyd lost his life. Our Bab Santos is there this afternoon and throughout the evening.
Is there any way you could get pictures, Canadian?
It's of great concern, but it's also a very sacred area for some folks today, and has been since May 25th.
Yeah, Randy, and to be honest, right now, I would say there's probably just as many journalists down here as there are regular people. It just goes to show how much of a both national and international attention there is on this case and on the death of George Floyd. Obviously, this behind me here is where it all happened, where former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on the body of George Floyd.
You could send them to watchwithwayne@hotmail.com.
So again, a lot of journalists here, but still plenty of regular
watchwithwayne@hotmail.com.
coming here leaving fresh flowers, even before they knew a verdict was coming in today. Now that we know the verdict is on the way, there does seem to be more energy down here, more of a crowd starting to grow. There is a vigil planned for later tonight, starting at 5:30, going till 6:15. They've told people to bring LED candles, to make sure you bring a mask, and to just come here to be together as a community after we learn what this jury has decided in the trial of Derek Chauvin.
And Babs, just quickly, I know you're there, you're among the people there, and you mentioned that there's sort of this anticipatory feeling going on there, but give us another sense. I know you've talked to some folks down there. Give us a sense for how they're feeling leading into this verdict.
I don't know how they're going to
Nobody knows what to think.
spin this.
Nobody knows what is going to happen. People are
Amber, how you doing?
optimistic, but they've also said they're worried.
Over on
nervous.
Facebook.
They don't know what to expect.
I have a video too.
One thing that
Perfect.
everybody can agree on is that they just
Do you have an iPhone or an Android
the death
phone?
of George Floyd.
All right, Babs Santos at 38 and Chicago. Thank you.
And again at 3:19, just a quick update. A verdict is in. It will be read between 3:30 and 4. Derek Chauvin is in the courtroom right now, and a crowd is gathering outside the Hennepin
3:30 and
Government
4.
Said at this point,
What time
charges
is it
second-degree murder,
in there?
Third-degree murder, and then second-degree manslaughter.
So right now we want to bring in one of the legal analysts who's been with us since
Minneapolis.
the beginning, Lee Hutton.
Hey Siri, what time is it in
First
Minneapolis?
opportunity to talk with you. Let's
In
get your
Minneapolis,
reaction on the
Minnesota,
timing
United
of this
States.
verdict.
It's 3:21 p.m.
The timing,
So, it's any minute.
If there's any indication, should indicate that this is a conviction. This is not just a conviction. This means that the jury was really
It's so cold. I know.
compelled
I got a
by the
heater on right
state's
now. It's
arguments,
like
that,
ridiculous.
Chauvin's actions was the cause of
Yellow
Floyd's
snow,
death.
thank you.
It also means that they were attentive, that they knew what was their duty, and they acted swiftly. Now, this is just a prediction. It still could go the other way with an acquittal. We just have to wait and see. But typically, with a verdict this fast, means that there was a conviction. Now we need to know if it was a conviction of one charge or all three.
And looking back at
They're
this
saying,
case, just getting your
I like how they
thoughts
just
as you
assume
look
that because the
back over
verdict is
14
coming
days
this
of
fast,
testimony, all the
it's a
witnesses that
conviction.
came in. What were some of the things that made a difference in this case in comparison to something that may have been similar with another
I'll
officer
check
found?
right now.
I just keep looking at those videotapes and thinking, I've just never seen a criminal case with so much video evidence.
Well, when I was looking at the evidence, the videotape is just so compelling. Just because you see.
Oh yeah, I got your. Yes, I got that email. Yes, that's the reason why I'm down here is because of you, Seymour, giving me the heads up.
Everybody is collectively waiting here.
In your custody, in his care, and basically oblivious to what we believe is.
Nathan, thank you very much for your donation. I really appreciate that, Nathan, through PayPal.
Better is that while they're making an excuse that George Floyd had a large heart, the heart that we should measure is the small
This week,
heart
get
of
ready
Chauvin. I
to
think
watch
that
it burn,
resonated with the
no matter
jury.
what. Oh, Amber, I know
Also,
exactly. I
juries are very keen
100%
to
agree with
dismiss,
you on that. What's up, baby girl?
arguments that they don't believe made sense, because if I can sum it up, and this is just me as a trial attorney,
Yeah.
is what the defense is trying to say is that if
Gonna be crazy.
convict an
It's gonna be a
officer,
crazy day.
you have to be in perfect health. You can't have any
Are we ready?
conditions of drug abuse.
Are we ready for
or
whatever
anything
comes our
to,
way?
That anybody can point to as significant contributions of death. And the truth of the matter is we're all human and we come with our own frailties. And the main issue is whether or not an officer's actions went beyond the scope of an excessive force. And I believe the jury found that it did here.
And Lee, the jurors heard from Eric Nelson for an extended period of time in those closing arguments. That was his moment to really put into their heads, his case.
No, baby.
And sum it all up from how did he do, strengths and weaknesses in Eric Nelson's closing arguments.
Well, I think the overall strength of Eric Nelson's closing argument is that he gave options, and he was very good at delivering the message from his tone of voice, from his conviction and passion. And I think that was very, very good. However, the context behind this and
my son just did this to the kids must know. Yeah, the kids know. The kids can feel the tension.
We can't not let history live in us. And the historical context of past trials with this, where officers were acquitted and found excuses to get to that acquittal, I think people just said enough is enough. We are living in a different time. Minnesota has to revamp their ways of life, the ways of thinking, and this may be the first pathway in that direction.
And looking back at the testimony and closing arguments, the state said, Lee, that this isn't about putting the police department on trial, but police work is very much under the microscope as a result of this trial. And I think back to Chief Arredondo.
Oh, they're gonna riot.
Much like a
Amber,
chief
thanks.
of police that
Maribeth,
was
thank
also
you.
fighting for his department. And just your thoughts as we get ready for this.
10 hours, that's it.
Where we
10
go
hours.
as a community.
Yeah, where we go as a community, let's start there first. Certainly if there is excitement because there's a conviction, I think we have to put that in perspective because, frankly, we're all saddened by the fact that Minnesota in particular is in this situation.
Hey Ashley, all I know is if you want Nike shoes, go get right now.
The fact that the system has some opportunities where it is listening to your voice is certainly something that we can be very proud of. The third issue is how do we unify? How do we put the pieces back together to say that we're all equal, that we all have a purpose here, and that we can treat each other with humane, and that doesn't just mean you and I.
All right, let's see. I just got a link.
Like I said, in the last 365 days, we're on our Minnesota alone.
Where was that link?
It's a case where there's been African Americans that have been killed at the hands of minor traffic stops. And so I think this is going to allow us to revisit our own kind of personal souls and our own personal paths and make a direction forward. But we have to do that unified.
All right, Lee, we're going to keep checking in with you here as the afternoon goes on. Thank you for your time. And we want to remind our viewers that what you're looking at on your screen are some live pictures. The bottom left-hand corner is 38th in Chicago, also known as George Floyd Square. And the other two live shots are the Government Center downtown Minneapolis as we await this verdict. The top right-hand corner, of course, live in the courtroom, and we'll take you there as soon as we can.
This, as you can imagine, for our viewers, has been an enormous amount of coverage, an enormous amount of eyeballs covering this trial, both here in Minnesota and nationally and globally. One of the things, Hannah Flood, as we wait for this jury to come back with a verdict, remind our viewers exactly what they had to consider. There were three charges, three very distinct charges. One of the charges, the third-degree murder, was one that was what we could call a late ad after the judge originally back in October threw it out as a possible charge and went to the appeals court and got put back into this case as a charge against Derek Chauvin. But bring our viewers up to speed in terms of exactly what they had to consider.
Sure, Randy. So we have this second-degree murder charge, and in that charge, the state needs to prove that Chauvin caused George Floyd's death while committing a third-degree assault. So the state does not have to prove that Derek Chauvin meant to kill George Floyd or even that he meant to seriously hurt him. They only have to prove that the assault was intentional, meaning Chauvin intentionally applied unlawful force to Floyd. The former Minnesota State Supreme Court Justice that I was talking to today said kind of a comparison for this is, think of that bar fight scenario. Someone gets in a fight with somebody, they intentionally punch them, say, assault them, right? But then that person might end up falling and hitting their head and dying. So the act itself was intentional, but the consequence was not intentional. That's what that second-degree murder charge means. Then you have this third-degree murder charge. This was the late act. This was the one that was applied in the
All right, perfect, Ken.
Black Lives Matter!
Change that feed.
We'll know who the foreperson is at that point. And then the judge will read it himself. He'll look at it, and usually they do that kind of with a poker face, so they don't let it known what they see when they look at it. And then it'll go back and it'll either be read by the foreperson or it could be read by court personnel. They'll go through each of the counts and they'll read them off, and we'll hear each of the counts, guilty or not guilty. Then, you know, the judge will thank them for their service. The judge will probably, I would assume, tell the courtroom, you know, he doesn't want any emotional outbursts either way. Then we'll get the verdict and people will go from there. It can go in two directions. If he's found not guilty, then he's released and that's it, and it's over. And if he's found guilty, then what will happen is then it'll continue on because he'll get remanded to custody, which means he'll go back inside, and then he'll go through a pre-sentence investigation that may have already been done in part. They may be working on that, or they may not. And then there'll be some recommendations and at some point, but it's not like TV where they just bang down the gavel and say, you know, 12 years, 15 years, boom, like that. There's a whole process that goes on. We know that the state is going to ask for increased charges. That was the Blakely waiver that was done yesterday by the defense. So if he's found guilty, that'll come into play too, because the state's going to ask for them to go outside of the guidelines. And if he's not found guilty, and my thought in it is they're unanimous. They all saw it the same way, but we'll wait and see what it is they found.
Yeah, we're expecting to hear something very soon. Trial attorney Mike Bryant, thank you.
All right, thanks, BC. We want to take you back now downtown to Minneapolis, and I believe we have Courtney Godfrey.
Yeah, and it's important to note the courtroom is almost empty. Just have the essential staff there, and then one family member for each side. So traditionally, we would have reaction in the courtroom. With COVID, that's not. It's going to be rather quiet, and instead you'll see a lot of reaction outside. Courtney Godfrey, downtown Minneapolis, with a look at a crowd that is growing quickly. Courtney.
Yeah, Kelsey, I'll tell you right now, it's still majority media, but people continue to come in, and chants just started, so you can hear that the protesters are starting. But it's jovial at this moment. I think a lot of people are having that feeling that because this verdict has come in after only about 10 hours of deliberating, that this can only be good news for their cause. I'll show you that to the left here of my cameraman, there's a cookout going on.
Whereabouts?
So again,
What location was that
upbeat
in Canada?
tone. They're barbecuing.
Canadian?
They're positive right now. But mostly media right now. We expect that to change. People continue to come in, and we continue to witness this crowd here in Government Center Plaza growing. And we did also witness sheriff deputies closing off 2nd Avenue about an hour ago, shortly after they announced that there was a verdict. So law enforcement obviously preparing for this.
I got it.
Honestly, they've been preparing for this for weeks. Our law enforcement sources say that they've been on edge waiting for this moment, as all this media has been. So here the moment is now, and we're all just waiting for that verdict to be read, and then to see where this mood changes from there.
The safety plan that you mentioned with security was put in place in advance of this trial, but then also tested through the last week or so after the death of Dante Wright. So we're waiting to hear from Operation Safety Net to see if they will address the public or just start to move in place. We'll come back to you in just a bit. Thanks, Courtney.
All right. Well, listen, of all our reporters, and we have people stationed all over the Twin Cities, and you can imagine, as well as in the studio here. Paul Bloom has been there from literally the first second that this began, and I want Paul to join us now. Paul, there's one thing that I think we need to do as we approach the verdict moment, and that is give our viewers a chance to sort of relive some of those iconic moments of this trial. No one knows this better than you in terms of our team here. Give us a sort of Reader's Digest condensed version of how this thing started and up to the point yesterday when this jury took it on.
Well, it's been quite, it's been 6+ weeks, right, from jury selection all the way to today, a verdict having been reached. I think back to the early stage of the trial itself, the emotional witness testimony, the eyeball witnesses at the scene of 38th in Chicago, the anger, the sadness, the regret, watching the incident unfold. I think about the 911 dispatcher watching on her television screen how this all got started, watching that deadly arrest at the time and being so concerned. She called the sergeant that night, and then the way the
no matter what, it's going to be bad.
Into their closing argument that even at the heart of this case was never about.
This is the case that literally started this whole shit.
The state of Minnesota.
So it's going to be bad.
Chauvin.
No matter how it goes, it's going to be bad.
By saying, look, some of these eyewitnesses who were angry, who were agitated, who were frustrated, who were concerned. You know who their first call was to after they witnessed what they did? It was to the police. So Jenna Scurry, the 911 operator, Donald Williams. The MMA fighter trained in chokeholds who's watching what he thinks is a blood choke going down on the street, begging Derek Chauvin, yelling, screaming at him to get off. He had some other choice words, but the witness testimony from the scene, I'll never forget Charles McMillan, of course, the elder on the scene there, encouraging George Floyd to comply, to get in the squad car, and then just breaking down emotionally on the witness stand while watching the body camera video, and George Floyd crying out for his mama. He, of course, McMillan in his 60s had lost his mother recently, and they needed to take that 10-minute break. The police testimony that came in, the crushing of the whole so-called blue wall of silence, or the protection of police in uniform and protecting one another wearing the badge, that disintegrated during this case as Chief Mederi Arredondo and all those others from Minneapolis police turned on Derek Chauvin and his actions that day. Richard Zimmerman, the longtime homicide detective, and then getting into the medical evidence, the cause of death, complex, but did Martin Tobin really put on quite a display of knowledge and walking this jury through what his thoughts were and conclusions on the police restraint and the lack of oxygen George Floyd was taking in as pinned to the ground. George Floyd trying to literally breathe with his knuckles and the like. And then, of course, the defense doing its best to bring out some other thoughts and processes, questioning. And it's good to have a system that challenges one another, where a jury ends up being the unbiased arbiter of a situation. And that's what we're watching unfold here. The defense had its chance to explain what was going on. Derek Chauvin's training, what an objectively reasonable officer would do in the totality of the situation. So it was a beautiful system that played out before us over the last month plus. You guys know I love being at the courthouse for these very reasons. This is people's lives that are at stake here. Derek Chauvin's future, the Floyd family here with so much at stake with what we're about to hear. I do want to just turn, just because I kind of have a bird's eye view from where Courtney and some of our other crews are down below at the south side of the Hennepin County Government Center. Courtney mentioned media mostly there, but of course demonstrators are arriving. They want to be in close proximity as this verdict is read, and I just want to follow up on one of her points about law enforcement closing down some additional streets. They had some extra fencing, right? We all know the whole building was fortified, but then they had fencing posts at different spots where they could close off blocks to kind of give more of a shield to downtown City Hall, the Hennepin County Government Center. So in Courtney's last report, it sounded like they must have closed down one of those extra barricades there. But it's a really interesting vantage from being up here, because as I do see people flocking to the government center behind me to be here for this historic and global impactful moment, there also is sort of a mass exodus that's happening. Of course, where I sit or stand heading in this direction would be the interstate getting on 35W, and if you head the other way towards 394, there is this sort of exodus out of downtown. And you were with me earlier when I was speaking to criminal defense attorney Ryan Pasiga, who offices downtown. His employees all had go bags from their office up on the 27th floor of a nearby tower for this very moment. They grabbed their stuff and left. We know they cleared out government buildings, the federal courthouse on the other side of the Hennepin County Government Center. They cleared out everybody. They are very concerned about what comes next, guys, after this verdict is read. The preparation has been done. Is everybody ready? We will see.
You are absolutely right, Paul. Two resounding questions as of yesterday. What will this jury come back with, and what will happen after the verdict is read? Those are the things that we're anxiously awaiting for. As you can imagine, we do have Skyfox 9 up there in the top left of your screen, as you can see, and Paul noted that the crowd of people is beginning to grow outside the Hennepin County Government Center. There's 4 boxes there, 38th in Chicago in the lower left, and of course then a ground view of outside the courthouse there in the plaza, and then the courthouse, the courtroom inside that courthouse right there. And that is the one we'll focus on as this jury comes back with its verdict. We'll go full on that. We'll hear every second of it when it happens, and we're told it should happen before 4 o'clock.
Yeah, waiting for that in the next 20 minutes or so. Also just want to make note that this is a trial that was televised for the world to see, to understand the process, to hear the testimony day after day from jury selection until closing arguments. And so today we will see the verdict being read live as well. Something that, it's a glimpse into the courtroom that we don't often get here.
You're right, Kelsey. I mean, it really is hard to overstate the magnitude of this moment as we and the nation and the world wait for this verdict. We want to bring in our legal analyst, Lee Hutton. Lee, along those lines, I mean, a big question for you here. What's at stake?
Well, I'll break it down into 2 comments. The first comment is Minnesota is going to show the world their reflection of leadership. Attitude reflects leadership. So if the verdict is acquittal, we're going to be the leaders in that decision. If it reflects conviction.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this up here for 2 seconds, guys. Give me 1 sec. We're going to get rid of this. And we're going to go to here, and we're going to go. We're going to just change this up because I want to be able to get the most information here for you guys. Okay, so here we go. So let's do it like this for now.
Policing ourselves, okay? Black people, they want us to be trapped in our community.
Anything.
That's what it's about. It's still like slavery. We like to shackle and slave. You ever notice that every time something like this happens, it's usually revolving around a traffic stop or something like that?
Okay, so let me pull up these feeds here.
Because black people traveling is the most non-racist thing First Floyd went through. Or nobody else. Or Dante or nobody else. And we don't keep on fighting in Minnesota, y'all to stay. I respect all the activists out here. Love and support for all the activists out here. This wouldn't be possible without y'all. I'm on here, I'm a servant of the people. I'm on here to uplift y'all voices and to get behind y'all. Get behind these activists. Y'all need to be interviewing these activists in Minnesota. And not just these celebrity activists, not just these people that show up. These people that out here every fucking day fight for change. They get shot with rubber bullets. They got bombed. They get beat by the same police. Then we arguing using excessive force on them. We fighting against excessive force, or they using excessive force on us. We got stories to tell. Y'all better talk to these people. Every people in the world out here. If y'all ain't talking to the people in Minnesota on the ground, then y'all ain't talking to the people that y'all need to be talking to. So why are y'all out here if y'all not gonna tell our story? I thought y'all was journalists. I thought y'all tried to keep it involved with the truth. Okay, if you a real life journalist, you need to be telling the story. Okay, I ain't gonna hard this mic too long. I apologize. I got to thank my people. I love my people. I love the city of Minneapolis. I love the motherfucking movement. And we gonna stay connected. We gonna keep going. We gonna unite. It ain't nothing they gonna do to stop this change. This is a revolution. This is our time for change. And we not gonna stop till we get change. It's not a negotiation. It's a motherfucking demand. This is a demand, and we won't stop until we get change. That's the fucking problem. They think we negotiating with this. We ain't fucking negotiating with America. We ain't negotiating with these white folks at the top. We ain't negotiating with these police. It's our city, it's our country, it's our time.
Being oppressed by their governments.
Alright, what do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want justice? When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 Hey y'all, let me tell y'all something. See, they reimagined police as slaves at the cross.
Can't
They
find that.
reimagined slavery with prisons. We are not trying to reimagine police. We are trying to abolish the police. Now, abolish the police. Now, a lot of y'all don't want to hear that this system is if this system is too racist and too corrupt to fix. Let me say, hear y'all say, you can't reform racism.
You can't reform racism.
Say, you can't reform racism.
You can't reform racism.
You cannot reform this racist system. It must be taken down. We must reimagine public safety as a whole and not continue to pour money. You can't keep training racist cops. How many more millions do we have to put into equipment, into training, before folks understand that this model of policing is not working for black and brown people in America? We gotta understand that this is not radical. This is the only change that we can make. We have to abolish the police department and reimagine public safety. Make some noise! Yeah. name. George Floyd. Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
When I say George Floyd, you say Dante Wright. George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
George Floyd.
Dante Wright.
Everybody out there, name your city. Where you coming from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
D-Town. I'm from Chicago. Where my Chicagoans there?
Yeah.
Detroit in the building somewhere. Detroit. Minnesota. Make some noise, Minnesota.
This is crazy.
Hey,
let me say something real quick.
If he's found guilty, they're gonna go hard because they're gonna think they won. If he's not,
I got the mic in the car and shit. I can pull it up.
either way, it's gonna be a shit night.
George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd. George, go, get it. Stop it. George Floyd. George don't get it. Shut it down. If George don't get it, shut it down. George don't get it. Burn it down. Burn it down. George don't get it. Shut it down. George don't get it. Shut it down. George don't get it. Shut it down. Y'all been waiting a real long time to see some justice, haven't you? What did y'all come out here for? What did you come out here for? What did you come out here for? Y'all were waiting a real long time to see some justice in this city, in this country, in this world. And today we have the chance in less than 10 minutes to see that. And y'all are going to see different reactions from people. And y'all are
Oh
here
man,
for a certain reason. And it's a historical
that's a
reason.
lot of people.
You are here watching history in the making. You are watching a military-occupied state right now. Tim Walz has turned this state into a sundown town. And at 5 p.m., we're going to have a rally here. But for right now, in the next 10 minutes, you're going to witness history. And what do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Exactly, Amber.
Do we want it next week? No! Do we want it next year?
Exactly.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! For whom? George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! And you need to think about what you're going to do with this voting class. What do you want for your community? Regardless of the verdict. I don't even heard the county government say it. I want to know if I'm mad or not. You don't need to have the county government say it like you know if you're mad or not. This verdict is going to determine what we see from policing, government, and politics going forward for this city. And if George don't get it, shut it down. 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 And I'll leave you with this. Justice is living in the world where George Floyd was never murdered. Justice is living in a world where they're serving on the civil supremacy from the 8 to 5. Justice. Look, there's a lot of these folks here. A lot of these white faces.
Someone have a link for the scanner from Minneapolis.
The work is going to need to continue going forward regardless of the verdicts. Celebrate for a day, but we need to continue this work going forward. We can celebrate for a day, but we need to continue this work going forward. Yes, sir. We can celebrate for a day, but we need to continue this work going forward. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want you to recognize why you're out here. Know why you're out here.
and really dig deep into your heart why you're going to stay here and why we're going to rally regardless of the verdict.
See?
We're going to demand justice regardless of the verdict because justice is living in a world where Dante Wright was never murdered.
See? It doesn't matter what the verdict is. They're going to hit it off tonight.
Have I done? It's not a reality. Bullshit. Justice is living in a world where Minnesota does not lead the nation in racial disparity for education, employment, and law enforcement. Justice is living in the world where we have this conversation and don't try to cover it up. And we came out here for George Floyd. What's his name?
George Floyd!
What is his name?
George Floyd! 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 George Floyd!
We don't need nothing in that building to let us know what we saw. We all saw murder. We all know Chauvin is guilty. When I say Chauvin, you say guilty. Chauvin!
Guilty!
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 And no matter what happens in that building, all of us, the people, we will let everyone across this nation, everyone across this world know what the verdict truly is. Chauvin!
Guilty!
Chauvin!
Guilty!
Chauvin!
Guilty!
Chauvin!
Guilty!
Chauvin!
Guilty!
Chauvin!
Guilty!
I cannot tell a single person in this audience how to deal with their oppression. Regardless of the verdict of this trial, every single oppressive system that led to the murder of George Floyd has remained in place. Therefore, regardless of the verdict, people are still being oppressed. Therefore, people can act however they feel necessary. However they feel necessary. Because justice is not just convicting Chauvin. It's making sure that another George Floyd doesn't happen. And in the midst of this trial, there's been Louisville. There has been Dante Wright. There have been numerous names that I've had to learn from across this nation. All while the police have been under the spotlight. They don't care. They don't care. They showed you time. They showed us time and time again. They do not care. Justice. If we're talking about justice, what does justice look like to you? What does justice look like to you? For me, justice will look like having a system in place that protects my black life like they're protecting this courthouse right now.
Yeah, now that's real. That's real, man. That's real, man.
How about when my life is under attack, they send in the National Guard to protect me?
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
How about white folks on Facebook and Twitter and wherever they post? When my life is under attack, how about they talk about my life the same way they talk about the Dollar Tree getting looted?
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Because all that buildings, all that property can be brought back.
That's right.
That money's not going nowhere.
That's right.
The money's still there.
That's
My
right.
life, when it's taken, it's not coming back.
These are facts.
George Floyd will never take another breath on this planet again.
Not good.
George Floyd will never take another breath on this planet again. And until these systems are uprooted and recreated, I feel the same justice that this damn building feels. No justice! 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 If George don't get it, 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 if George don't get it,
Taxpayer Street.
Whole street. Whole street. Whole city. Whole city. Whole city. Whole city. Whole street. Whole street. Whole street. Whole street. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want it?
Yeah, you guys will have an increase of the pandemic now. All this screaming and yelling.
We don't get it. We don't get it. Cause Black Lives Matter. 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 Show me what democracy sounds like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy feels like. This is what democracy feels like. Show me what democracy sounds like. This is what democracy sounds like. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Fuck these racists.
I'm eating while I can because I'm telling you, I have a funny feeling I'm going to have a sick feeling after this is done.
No justice. No peace. Fuck these racists.
I got a nervous feeling just as it is, just sitting here.
Right. We out here. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Not a single person in that crowd gives a crap about George Floyd. This is just an excuse to commit the political vigilance and intimidate opposition. This is and always has been about power, not justice. Well said, Nate. Well said.
We're gonna keep on fighting. We're gonna keep on going, okay? Y'all need to understand that. Like you said, we can celebrate for one day. But they think this the end. They think y'all gonna go home.
Well said.
Y'all ain't gonna be back out here. They think they gonna be able to ask y'all why y'all still saying George Floyd name.
Well said,
We gonna
Nate.
say George Floyd
Well
name
said.
forever. We gonna hit these streets until we get tagged. And then even when we get tagged,
Thank you.
we still gonna say George Floyd name. Because these are streets. At the end of the day, it don't matter what they say or what they do. We the people. We the people. What up, Dante Wright's brother right there? Alright? I want y'all to show love to Dante Wright's brother. His family going through this. And y'all keep the same energy y'all kept for George Floyd, for that man and his family. Alright? Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Let's do Dante Wright, alright? Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. And see, that's the thing. We can get justice for George Floyd, they'll go kill another one of us tomorrow. That's why we gotta keep on fighting. That's why we gotta keep on marching. That's why we gotta keep on going until we get changed. Alright?
No matter what the verdict is, it's going to be hell.
Get ran, okay? We got a couple more people coming up here. We want to keep y'all fired up. We want to keep y'all going. We want to keep y'all warm. We want to let everybody know. Let the city know. Let these people that's in these buildings out here, let them downtown know. And we gonna keep on fighting for change. And we gonna stay together. We gonna stick together. And we ain't no stopping until we get changed. Justice for George Floyd. Justice for Dante Wright. I love y'all. I love the activists in this city. Let's go. Say his name. George Floyd. 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 Black lives they matter, yeah. Black lives they matter, yeah. Black lives they matter, yeah.
Why are they waiting so long to come out with the verdict? Like, it's almost like they're just getting everything prepared.
Wow. What's his name? George Floyd. Say his name. We want justice in this conviction, but we want to make sure that we're going to be safe in the future. We want systemic change. When I say say their name, you say which one? Say their name. 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 Which one? If George don't get it, say it down. If George don't get it, say it down. If George don't get it, shut it down. If Dundee don't get it, shut it down. If Dundee don't get it, shut it down. If Dundee don't get it, shut it down.
Come on.
Let me tell you, this woman right here, she's fucking powerful. She is amazing. She's a beautiful black queen, and she is the reason why we have this. It's gonna be to sheriff. Let me tell you, this woman right here, she's fucking powerful. She is amazing. She's a beautiful black queen, and she is the reason why we have this movement. She has been bringing the families together for decades. We're talking about people putting in actual work.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, man.
All right, for the jury.
Here it is.
Please be seated. Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict.
Here it is.
Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota, County.
I'm going to say not guilty. He's too happy.
4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court file number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I'm now going to ask you individually if these are your true and correct verdicts. Please respond yes or no. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 19, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 27, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 44, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 52, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 55, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 79, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 85, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Wow.
Juror number 89, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 91, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 92, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Are these your verdicts, so say you one, so say you all?
Yes.
In terms of the jury, I find that the verdicts as read reflect the will of the jury and will be filed accordingly. I have to thank you on behalf of the people of the state of Minnesota for not only jury service, but heavy-duty jury service. What I'm going to ask you to do now is to follow the deputy back into your usual room, and I will join you in a few minutes to answer questions and to advise you further. So, all rise for the jury.
And there it is.
All right, be seated.
Counsel, case. I'll take it.
Wow. Thanks, RH, for the donation.
we doing is work. They trying to stop the stop, but it's not gonna work. What we doing is work. We gotta keep on going. We gotta keep on going. They want us to stop. We stop. We about to go back and get justice for everybody. We not gonna stop. These are friends. They want us to stop. But we gonna give up. We done been through all this stuff all year. They've been giving us everything they got for a year. No matter what. If we don't stop. If we don't stop. If we don't stop. If we don't stop. We are here. We will not stop.
There they go.
My phone fucked up. Good. Mama, we out here, we make it happen, man. We right here in the middle of the street, Mama. You see us, Mama? I told you we gonna fight for George, man. We gonna make this happen. Mama, I got you. Watch this, Mama. Watch, I got this. What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd!
I don't know what to say. You know what's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of cops that are quitting. They're already quitting. New York City, they're already quitting. Everything's falling apart, guys.
It's time to celebrate. And that's what George wants us to do, is celebrate.
Now they're going to celebrate.
Alright, my mom, let's go for Congress, okay? Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Now that was Jamaica, his sister. Now, this is only the beginning to the pressure that we put our knees on their motherfucking neck. Because we know what we stand as black men, black women, proud and all. Now we see the camera has been broken. Now we can stand in unity with each other. So everybody, every night we're going to stand and we're
There they go.
fight. Now we're going to get on that Dante right. Now say his name. Dante right. Say his name. Dante right.
There it is.
Dante right.
Now it doesn't matter. Dante Wright. They got work to do. Listen to that.
Right now, this revolution will not be televised, so all your cameras get all the footage y'all can.
Oh, snap. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm in shock over the fact that it happened like that, but at the same time I'm not really shocked. So that just set the precedent for. So you know that girl that shot that guy, she's going to jail. You know she's going to jail. Dante Wright, you know that officer, she's gone. There's no question about that. She might as well just pack it up. She's done.
When the jury was selected, we came back, so I checked out all these barricades. Now I think it's been about 3 weeks. We did it last week of the trial, if I recall. And the decision was that the jury verdict was that Chauvin was guilty. So we're gonna walk around here. So
Officer Kim Porter, yeah, she's done.
Talk to you. Yeah, there's a lot of relief. There's so much uncertainty in the past few days here, past weeks here at Minneapolis that. The street, this is moving the streets.
No cop's gonna ever arrest anybody ever again.
3 weeks, a lot of anxiety. It was hard to sleep at times. Mostly after the police ordered the Dante Wright. We saw the massive police forces around released from the people at that point. People not sure what was going to happen if Chauvin lost. But he didn't. He's guilty, so let's just focus on that.
I told you, it didn't matter whether he was guilty or innocent. They're just moving on to the next thing, Dante Wright. And all this did was literally fuel them with more fire, more gasoline for their fire. That's all it did.
We will find out.
This is a win for them.
And this is Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Lorenzo Sedra from Chicanx. We are here. It's our liberation day. It's fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you want to get in the street? Oh, you want to walk? So yeah, I'm just going to walk around for a second, see what's going on. Because people are honking. Feeling like we've been out here for a bit. You can see there's a National Guard. This feels so different after the verdict's been read. People have been found guilty. Up until then, this really tense in the city. A lot of unease and fear. Like living in the cities, you've been communicating with people, wondering what was going to happen. And now it just feels like everyone just let out the breath they're holding. And there's celebrations. And there's also people saying there's more work to be done, which is kind of common. But there's joy. People are feeling good, and we're going to go check out some more speakers and just see how everyone's doing. But again, thanks for joining us. We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The verdict has just been read.
Oh, principal! We need to understand that we stand with Chicago. We need to let Chicago know that we stand with Adam. So when we say his name, Adam Toledo. Adam Toledo! What's his name? 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 Adam Toledo! Adam Toledo! Say his name! Adam Toledo! I'm gonna tell y'all, we need to focus on the real definition of what America don't want to see us do, is join hands
you can see, had a firearm inside. They told him to come out with his hands up. He came out with his hands up, and the police shot him. So people have been attention to other cases. And will this gonna stay live for a bit? I don't know. Let me check if there's any questions or anything.
Who's looking at us?
I need brown, I need white, I need yellow. Where my niggas at? If you niggas come to the front. We need Mexicans, we need Asians, we need blacks, we need Latinos, we need everybody. This is what America don't want us to see. Power to the people! Power to the people! They don't want to see this. This is why they killed Fred Emerson for it. Because he's freaking neighborhoods. He didn't give a fuck if it was racist or not. He wanted liberation to be known. And he wanted to be known that he's treated equal. And so what we just witnessed today is that we don't fight for everything. This is our city. Boots to the motherfucking ground.
Boots on the ground, baby. We don't want y'all support. We don't want y'all sympathy. We don't want y'all sympathy. We don't want shit. We don't want none of it. We want y'all sympathy. We don't want y'all donations. All we need is boots on the ground. Because we get boots on the ground. Let legislation know we ain't fucking quitting. If we here to stay, some of these laws get passed. That's why I say we're done with this. We still got another battle with Brooklyn City.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit. And y'all, listen. You know what they was getting ready to do? Yeah, y'all know y'all what they was getting ready to do? They bought all the armies, they paid people from Ohio to come up here to take fear in our heart. When you know that they know with fear. God, no matter what you praise, our God is going to lead us in the right way. He's our way maker. So at the end of the day, God will shine light on motherfucking dark. So at the end of the day, all you got to do is show up. And God will show out. No matter what you praise, you got to praise to one God that's going to make it happen for all guys.
It's not a way now, it's just the Lord. It's not a way now, it's just the Lord.
There's a bunch of gatherings going on all over this area. We're going to walk back over here. Again, this is Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can see the government center here where the trial is taking place. It's fortified. They have National Guard. They brought all these police officers in because they're exhausted from their past few days of, I guess, battling with protesters, attacking protesters. It got tiring, so they brought more people. With the decision as it was, I don't know what will happen now. I assume there's been a lot of celebration. As you can see, the celebration already occurring.
I don't even know what to say.
We're grateful right now. It's a different kind of life right now. It's a new change. And that's what we've been waiting for.
You'll say it's a new change. Alright, do you want something over here?
You know, we've been facing racism and injustices since the coming of the colonizers, you know, and then like even with the American Indian movement, it started because of police brutality. That was 52 years ago, and we're back on the street. We're still fighting police brutality. So I met with students yesterday, some high school students. They want change, you know, so we got to support them to do that work. We have to all work together. So it's important for us. This is one tiny victory.
What does the future look like to us then?
A lot of work. We'll take a day and celebrate this win, but it's just one win in a sea of waves that we have to just put a stop to. We have to make life better for our children. Oh, my name is Lisa Bellinger. I'm the executive director of the American Indian Movement. I'm here to support and stand for the people.
Very uneasy feeling.
Honestly, I'm just happy.
Just happy? That's all I'm going to do.
So I think tonight at 9 when I do my show, it's going to be a real busy night.
It's a little joy, man, because we haven't seen this. We haven't seen somebody actually get charged, all three. You know, he's in jail right now. Man, we love this, man. This is what our city needed, man. And to see all these people come together and different creeds and different walks of life. Look at everybody, white, black, Asians, Mexicans, they're all out here. Because everybody believes in just being human. That's it. That's all. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for those words.
Yeah, thank you.
Listen, everyone's feeling a lot of joy. They're super happy. A lot of joy and super happy.
We did that shit. Yeah. What you talking about? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We 2-0. You know what I'm saying? We really 2-0. OJ in the 90s, George Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Derek Chauvin now. We're 2-0 now. Yeah. They got us fucked up. And we need to get on that big dog. We're fucking 2-0.
Here at the Government Center, Derek Chauvin is found guilty of all counts. And I guess you could call this an unfolding celebration. People are getting more and more excited. You know, this little bike dog. Woo! Yeah, big boombox.
Excuse me. What's your name? Justice Smith. I'm going to come and talk to you in just a quick second. You'll be live on air. Is that okay?
Hey, but y'all want to know the real message though, real quick? I'm going to tell y'all the real message. Like I told Jamaica, I told George Washington, this is why he's still running. Because he knows this is only the beginning, brother. We know that more time is going to be touching us more. Because they bad.
People are super excited. I've never been into sports, but I assume it's like after your team wins and everyone takes to the streets. I don't know. Oh, I wasn't the sports I was into. Can you take a little time for us? That's fine. You want to talk about what it feels like to be out here?
Yeah.
Let me know what's it like to be here right now.
It feels great.
It feels good. It feels like I'm a part of something.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that he's guilty.
Yeah.
You feel the energy for sure.
There's a lot of energy. And there's a lot of justice.
Yeah.
And that's the greatness.
First time in a long time Minneapolis can breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like that. I agree. Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like everybody's coming together to make a difference because that's what matters, you know? And Black Lives Matter. And this is our chance to open up and to voice, you know, our differences and then bring everybody together. So that's what I'm very happy about. And it's awesome and amazing that we can all just do this, you know, as one unit. Because we're all a community and we all suffer through all the racism, you know? We all have to come together instead of segregating. So I'm pretty passionate about this and I'm just happy, you know?
What's the future look like then?
I believe that it's going to become better, you know, as long as we keep doing this and to show everybody that we also matter. I mean, I feel that the future will become brighter. As long as we can all just come to an agreement, you know, equality. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good? And thank you all for talking to me.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Listen, keep walking along. I'm just keep asking people how they feel because it's the best. It's like unusual for everyone to feel so good. I just want to keep feeling that. So we're going to keep going.
I'm here. Power to the people. Power to the people. Hello.
How do you feel?
I'm so happy. I feel like it's my birthday and Christmas in the same day. I'm so excited. I can cry right now. I can cry again. More time. I can cry for the 5th time.
I guess people who are not here, what do you want to know about what it feels like to be amongst this crowd right now?
It just feels like everybody's here. It does feel like a big party. Everybody's here to celebrate the most momentous occasion ever in the history of ever. That's how I feel. We won. We won. We won. We won. We won. We got this. Yes.
Were you worried last night? Or
I was very worried because his lawyer asked for an appeal, and so I thought the judge was going to be like, I thought the judge was going to give him the appeal. I was very worried. I was very anxious, and I didn't think they were going to convict him until they did. They did.
Or I'll let you all say, we want to say your name at all?
Janaya Edwards. Are you lying? Oh, what? Okay. Okay.
You take care.
You too.
Like they did Francis Bailey's murder. Like they did Kobe Howard's murder. Like they did Marcus Golden's murder. Like they did Jeffrey Smith's murder. Like they did Lamar Clark's murder. Like they did Rolando Castillo's murder. They could no longer cover it up. Because not only are we talking, but God is tired of what they're doing. Come on, people.
That's oh my God, the Jones over
But I will not stop until Justice Biden gets the justice he deserves. I will not stop until Jalali gets what he deserves. I will not stop until Jamar Clark gets what he deserves. I will not stop until Cordell Andy and Marcus Golden and Jacob Smith get what the fuck we deserve. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win.
Maybe some barbecue somewhere. There's a lot of people eating now.
We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. Oh yeah, it's the best.
Black Lives Matter, shirts and masks. Shirts and masks.
Walking around checking out what's sort of like pockets of different celebration. Most of the time celebration.
We don't burn.
Alright, well. I think people are going to celebrate. Let's not celebrate. We're at the walking back. Again, thank you very much. That's what I was excited. How are you feeling about everything that just happened here?
I mean, obviously, it's a very bittersweet kind of relief. It's justice without justice, but it doesn't feel like it feels like things have been bad for so long that honestly, I'm surprised that look could happen. So hopefully that's a sign.
All right, so helicopter dropped off.
About justice, and how would you describe that? I know it's probably hard to look at.
I mean, a true version of justice would be the courts operating the way the courts are intended to, which is to say that.
All right, guys. For the people that are on, am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just getting bombarded with a mirage of videos and links of people saying that Canada is announcing something come this Friday. Where our banks are closing up and this martial law and all this other shit. So I'm trying to find out if there's any even truth to any of the stuff that's going on. Now, one thing I can say is that there is a lot of movement around, but for what? We don't know. So I'm just trying to figure that out. So in the meantime, I'm going to close the Citizen World News. We got 16 people over there watching. Feel free to go over to Wayne Live and continue watching this stuff on Wayne Live, and I will be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Watch What Wayne. So hope you guys join me there. So to everybody that's on Citizen World News, thank you for being here. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the views and the support, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later. Let me make sure that didn't close up the other thing. That closed up the feed. I don't know if I'm still live or not.